Awesome. Well, yeah, my turn. Great to see some familiar faces. I'm Kobie, and I've helped many of you solve a problem on Discord at some point, and it's been really fun interacting with everyone. I also dabble actually in prioritizing our engineering efforts and coordinating that. So today I will be presenting the PowerSync roadmap, like what we're actually working on. So to kick it off, our vision at PowerSync is that building an app to be local first or offline first should be easier for developers than building in the traditional cloud first paradigm. But also that the experience for the end users of the apps that we build is better, even when those users are online. So yeah, to get us closer to that vision, we currently have like 3 major buckets of priorities that we're working on. Self-hosting, supporting more platforms, languages, topology expansion, and improving developer experience. So I'll go through the 3 of these one by one. First, I'll be talking about is self-hosting. One of our most asked for features is self-hosting, and it's definitely coming. You know, some people want more control over their stack. Others are paranoid about relying on us or whatever. For phase 1 of self-hosting, the PowerSync service will be distributed as a Docker image that you can simply pull and run. Management of the image will happen using configuration files. And this means you'll be able to run the service on your laptop as part of your toolchain, or also deploy the service to your own provider like Railway or Fly.io. And the good news is we're starting implementation of that and tomorrow, and we're targeting having this ready in the second quarter, of this year. So yeah, self-hosting is coming. In terms of expanding the topology, one of our core tenets of like our philosophy is to be stack agnostic. So whether you're switching from Postgres to MySQL or switching from React Native to Flutter, or using multiple different stacks in your solution, our aim is to maintain, maximum engineering optionality for developers and not lock you into an architectural dead end. So on the client side, we're about to release support for Kotlin multi-platform, as well as adding support for Flutter Web to our Flutter SDK. Both of these have been driven by end user demand. With Kotlin multi-platform, we'll have Android native covered and to some extent iOS. But next up for us will be a Swift native SDK. Kotlin SDK will be distributed by Sonatype, and the Flutter SDK will be, continue residing where it is today on pub.dev. In many cases, we get fantastic feedback from our users, and we really rely on our community to give us feedback across all the different languages. On the topology side, like on the back end, in the future, we will add support for additional databases on the back end. Probably starting with Microsoft SQL Server, no timeline for that yet. But yeah, the goal is to also be stack agnostic on the back end too. Lastly, an update on developer experience, which is a bunch of things. The goal for us really is to make every product interaction across sign up, implementation, and maintenance really smooth and seamless for developers. So concretely, these are split up. Our most requested for feature on the client side is ORM support. And I'm happy to say that we have gotten started on that. As much as the Jetpack team love, being able to drop into raw SQL for advanced queries, it is sometimes annoying to have to write SQL for those simple queries. There's a lot of boilerplate there. And there's also no type safety. So ORM will help us address these challenges. but we want to maintain the ability to drop down into SQL once you start writing, big joins and stuff. SQL does have some benefits. Solving the ORM thing is a bit of an end problem for us in that, we are going to solve it for each of our SDKs in turn, starting with JavaScript and Flutter. On the JavaScript side, we evaluated a bunch of options and we actually settled on Kisly. Kisly has this really nice blend between declarative query building, but also these type-safe imperative APIs. And yeah, shout out to Josh for nudging us in that direction. And we have some small details to figure out around schema definitions there, but we're aiming for initial support in March, April. And we are kind of aware that pretty much everyone's rolling their own like ORM layer at this point. But yeah, this will be solved going forward. On the Flutter side, we've also gotten started there. We're working closely with Simon Binder. He's the author of Drift. And once his work is complete there, Flutter developers will have the option to either use Drift as an ORM or to write direct SQL queries. And that'll all be in the same app against the same database. The other thing we're working on from the developer experience side is billing. So our pricing plans are live, but they're actually not enforced yet. And we've had some confusion from users asking us, like, how do they pay us? We're being very meticulous about building this, and there are a lot of details to cover, but it's very nearly ready. And you'll actually be able to access this if you go to your dashboard and click on the logo in the top left. You'll get taken to your admin portal, and there you'll see subscriptions, and you will actually see your subscription, free plan, pro plan, or whatever. And all of these metrics will map one-to-one to the line items in our pricing plan. So that view will give you a view of your metrics in terms of billing. But a reminder, on the dashboard, you can also click on the metrics workspace, and you can kind of see the real-time metrics for your instance. Yeah, in the future, we will be also adding, things like limits on overage, budgets, all that good stuff. Before taking this to production, we will also be reaching out to folks individually to give them a heads up. So yeah, don't expect surprise invoices or anything like that. Next, we're working on a JavaScript API reference. So our Flutter users know that we've got this really functional API explorer that lets you explore the entire SDK. And Dom has added Docusaurus to our JavaScript code, which auto-generates API docs for our JavaScript clients and packages. And so developers will be able to explore all the SDKs on the JavaScript side and look at the various methods and get like useful descriptions of what the things do and examples on how to use them. On the dashboard side, the dashboard has an interesting backstory. It's built using actually an internally developed web IDE framework that we built here. And the fastest way to market for us was actually instantiating another instance of that. And we are aware that, the dashboard is like really overpowered for most use cases. And we're continuing to just make that a smoother experience overall. One of the things we recently launched was actually a sign-up guide for new users, really guiding them through connecting to Postgres, defining their sync rules, syncing a client, and so on. And we've gotten good feedback around that from users. So yeah, we will continue making the dashboard simpler to use. Lastly, we're working on taking the CLI out of private beta into beta. The main thing there really is self-management of those auth tokens that you need to use the CLI with, and having some better docs and so on. And the plan there is that you will over here be able, on your admin portal, be able to manage all your API tokens, the permissions for them, revoke them, and so on. So yeah, in summary, we're working on self-hosting, adding more languages and frameworks, and improving developer experience. that is the end of the roadmap update.